NFL Network analyst Kurt Warner, one of 6 Hall of Famers on the staff. The set, NFL Network carries the Texans-Panthers preseason game live tonight at 7:30 Eastern. Kurt Warner, Rams, Giants, Cardinals, great. Congratulations, Kurt.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it.
Didn't I say that I was going to help you get in the Hall of Fame a little while ago?
Well, you told me that if way back when you said that I wasn't a Hall of Famer, but if I got the Cardinals to the Super Bowl, you were going to get me in. So you held up to your part of the bargain. I'm not sure what you did, but somehow I got in, and I'm going to give you all the credit.
Well, wait. You had a chance to give me a lot of credit. You had a speech that went 20 minutes.
Well, I just figured you get all the credit all the time. So I wanted to focus on the people that don't get much credit.
And that's in 20 minutes? And then there's a scroll at the bottom? I mean, you didn't have to mention Brenda, your wife, that many times.
Weren't you on the scroll?
No.
I didn't put you on the scroll? Man, I told them to put you on the scroll, Dan.
How many times did you practice that speech?
A few times. I've spent a lot of time shaping it and directing it, but I practiced it probably half dozen times, 10 times maybe. Where's
the jacket?
Right now, it's still in the bag that I packed it in from Canton. I haven't unpacked yet. I've been crazy busy working for the network, and we got high school football practice that we do at 5 in the morning. So I'm still trying to catch up on sleep. So right now, it's still in the bag. I'll be taking it out pretty soon.
What changed when you set off a firestorm where you said you wouldn't have your kids play football a couple of years ago, and then everybody, was quoting you after you said that, but here you are, involved in high school football. Did anything change with your opinion of football for your kids?
No, I mean, it didn't change. I mean, and again, I don't know if I specifically said I wouldn't want them to play. I wouldn't let them play. I want them to do what they want to do, and I'm very involved with it. Because I understand the risks of it. And, I think like any parent, if you could completely eliminate every risk that your child had, you would do it. But knowing, my history and my past and what the game meant to me and what it taught me and the person that I am today, I wouldn't change a thing about my career. And now I'm just trying to make my kids very conscious of communication, of understanding, when they're injured, how important it is to communicate that. I coach my boys, so I'm always watching. I mean, I haven't had a point last year in one of our big rivalry games where I felt my son took a hit and he just wasn't quite himself, and I pulled him out of the game and said, "You're not playing," and it's one football game, and I'm going to be here to protect you. So I understand the risk. I am going to encourage my kids to do whatever it is that they're passionate and they love. But I'm also going to do everything I possibly can as a parent to make sure I protect them, I watch out for them, and I do the best by them.
Did you ever have a situation similar to what Brady had with Giselle, where maybe you tell your wife that, but you don't tell the team?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we all have, things that we don't think, it's going to really affect anything from a team standpoint. We all have bumps and bruises. We all get banged up at different times. You probably talk to every athlete that's ever played, and they tell you, yeah, there was a time that I was injured, but I didn't tell anybody about it because I figured I could still do my job and I didn't need to alarm anybody to it. Yeah, I don't think there's any question, most athletes, but I'm sure that I have numerous times, letting my wife know, hey, man, my ribs feel like they're broken, but, it is what it is, and you kind of just kind of go through with it and deal with it.
Drew Brees went the other way. He said he would not tell his wife. He wouldn't want to scare her. If he had a concussion, he said he wouldn't tell her.
Oh, well, I mean, and I understand that other side of it, too, because my wife's the first one to look out for me. And, if I was going to tell her anything, she'd be the first one to say, hey, you need to go tell the trainers. You need to go make sure you take care of yourself. And that's what you would expect is that, just like I said, I'm going to do everything to look out for my son, my daughter, whenever they're doing anything. I'm going to alert everybody. I'm going to make sure they're taking care of themselves. Our wives are going to do exactly the same thing.
He's Kurt Warner, the Hall of Famer, NFL Network analyst. Tonight on the NFL Network, it'll be the Texans and the Panthers. We had LaDainian Tomlinson on yesterday, and I said, who does Christian McCaffrey remind you of? Guess who he picked?
Who did he pick? Himself, Marshall?
No, because I said, does he remind you a little bit of you? And he said, no, because you know what? I was playing for Marty Schottenheimer, and I'm running the A gap. They had me running up the middle, and you know Christian's not going to be running up the middle. And he said he's more like Marshall Faulk. I think he meant you need to use him like Marshall Faulk because there's only one Marshall Faulk, and that's not fair to compare him. That's high praise, but you know, how you guys use Marshall, can Carolina use Christian McCaffrey the same way? Is Cam Newton capable of doing that in that offense?
Well, I think that becomes the big question. Is, first of all, the thing with Marshall was that he was an every down back. And so not only could we use him out of the backfield and run routes and attack linebackers and split him out and do all that, but he could also run between the tackles. He was our best fourth and short runner as well. And so that's what makes those guys different, the David Johnsons and the Marshall. That you're not just putting them in to get them out in space. They can do everything. So that, to me, is a question. Would he be that guy at the NFL level that can run between the tackles, stay in there on fourth down, pass protect, as well as get out on routes? And then you mentioned the second piece of that puzzle is Cam Newton, throughout most of his career, that offense and the way he designed is to make the big throws down the field. They're not a dink and dunk team. They're not a team that uses their backs out of the backfield, to throw it to. They use them to run the football, and then they play action and throw down the field. So from one standpoint, you think, well, maybe it makes things better for Cam Newton because some easier throws, coming off the shoulder injury. But it's a dynamic with timing and with seeing the linebackers that are on the inside as opposed to just attacking the safety down the field. So those are the two questions I have is, Christian McCaffrey, is he, a complimentary back in regards to the guy that just comes out of the backfield and you do some gadgets with him? Can he be an every down guy? And then can Cam his game to be more of the, I'm going to use Tom Brady for a lack of a better example, the dink and dunk, 5 yards, option routes, read that stuff, throw accurate passes, and move the football that way instead of needing to do it with the big arm and the big throws down the field.
Well, congratulations, and good luck this upcoming NFL season. We'll check in with you, but great honor, great speech. Glad you gave Trent Green a shout-out, and I love the Dan Marino story as well. But well-deserved, Kurt, and thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dan. Talk to you soon.
All right, that's Kurt Warner.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.